Happy International Education Week, everyone. This week, we celebrate the benefits of international education and exchange worldwide. This joint initiative of the U.S. Department of State and the U.S. Department of Education is part of our efforts to promote programs that prepare you for a global environment and also to attract future leaders from abroad to study, to learn, and exchange experiences. Welcome to this session called Enhancing Your Professional Profile. What do you as companies expect? My name is Mabel Martinez, and I'm the advisor at the Coordinación de Internacionalización de la Universidad de Guadalajara in Guadalajara. And today we arranged this event along with my colleagues from Ciudad de Mexico, Yandy Reynoso, my colleague Jenny Diaz from Mérida, and my colleague Edith Melendez from San Luis Potosí. Today we have a very special guest that will share with all of us her insights regarding what professional abilities are most valued in today's job market. Also, we're going to talk about how Education USA can help you to obtain or to improve your professional profile, so you can apply to a better job, opportunities, okay? And for all of you that don't know about Education USA, let me share a little bit about that. Education USA is a U.S. Department of State network of over 430 international student advising centers. We are located in more than 170 countries and territories. And our network promotes U.S. higher education to students around the world by offering them accurate, comprehensive, and current information about the different opportunities available to you to study at accredited institutions in the U.S. We are your official source of U.S. higher education. Remember, all our services and activities, such as workshops, webinars, one-on-one sessions, all of them are free of charge. And if you are interested in learning more about us, about our services, or about our activities, we suggest you to get in contact with your closest Education USA Advising Center. In Mexico, we are 26 advising centers, so there will be one near to you. How you can identify these Education USA Advising Centers? You can visit our official website that is going to appear on the chat in a few moments. So if you can help me with the next one, please. I don't want to take a long introduction, so let's get into the rodeo. Today, as I mentioned before, we have a special guest. Her name is Karen Montemayor. She, a little bit about her, she studied public administration and political science at the Universidad Autónoma de Baja California. She is currently doing her MBA with a major in human resources. And she has more than 10 years of experience and 5 years working at Skyworks. Currently, her position, as you can see on the screen, is as a government affairs and human resources consultant. So we are very happy to have you here with us, Karen. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you to you for having me here.
Perfect. So we want this to be a friendly conversation so you can share with the audience your insights. So we are going to take off the presentation and we're going to have a conversation, a casual conversation. And just to remind you, if you have questions at any point of the session, please share your questions to me, Mabel Martinez. You can address the questions to me, and at the end, we will have space to answer those questions. So let's start with with the first question that I would like to ask you. What is Skywork Solutions mission? What do you do?
What we do, we are in the semiconductor industry. We do all the wireless things. We connect everyone and everything all the time. Our mission is the effective manufacture and high-tech products that exceed the customer expectations in a free environmental, in a safe and free environmental, and driving our empowered workforce. Pardon.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. It's okay. And so you are a U.S. company, right?
Yes, we are a U.S. company, but we are in all the in 5 countries: Asia, American, U.S., Mexico, and Canada.
Perfect. So you are kind of a worldwide
Yes.
company. So in terms of the structures, you know, hierarchies, numbers on employees, profile, what can you tell me about your company? How is it structured? Okay. Just to give a sense the audience what
we are a worldwide company. The hierarchy that we have is to bottom to top. The first is the production employees all the way to the VP or vice president. We are more than 6,000 employees here in Mexico with a profile of high-tech engineering. You are on yet?
Yes. Perfect. So you are based in Mexicali and you have more than 6,000 employees. Yes. Only in Mexicali?
Only in Mexicali. In US, we have like 2,000 more, but Mexicali is the biggest one of all.
Okay, is the biggest office. And most of your work or most of the profiles of your employees, I understand, are engineering profiles, yes. Right? Okay, good. And what do you consider is your competitive advantage as an international company?
I consider our main advantage is the high qualified workforce or labor employees, and the easy way of transferring talent between the countries to US or to US coming to Mexico. Is our competitive advantage.
Okay, good to know. And what abilities, skills, aptitudes, or characteristics do the employees currently working in Mexicali have in common?
Okay. We all have in common the ability of solve problems, engagement, and teamwork. And the most important, we are on the border. Mexicali is near to Calexico or California. So we have work cross-culturally environment here.
Okay, so to solve problems. Perfect, which is something very common. No matter the job that you are going to do, you need to know how to solve problems, right?
Yes.
Okay. And as a US company, what advantages does the bilateral relationship between Mexico and in the US do you think what advantages does this relationship bring to your company?
The biggest advantage of being a bilateral or a transnational company is the easier networking. We have a lot of communications with US government, Mexico government, and others, and the transfer of technology and people. We have like easier ways to have people of US coming here in Mexico and do different process and technologies, or having Mexicali persons or Mexico persons that go to Asia or US and bring some talent or knowledge here to Mexicali.
Okay, and so you said you are around 6,000 of employees there, that the employees that work at Skyworks should know how to solve problems.
We should.
That you all know how to solve problems. Are you also in charge of, like, do you have contact with them when the company is hiring someone? Do you do any process with them? Because I would like to know if from your point of view or from your experience, what values do employees with US experience bring to your company, or if it's important to have a previous experience in the US to increase the chances to work in a company like yours?
Obviously increase your opportunities to be part of Skyworks, but it's not the most value or the experience I bring to the US employee here to Mexicali size is the manner to do things in USA. In example, we have the value that our US employee brought us is embrace the accountability. Here in Mexico is a term that we don't know or we don't ever hear, but our people of US coming and bringing that, and we embrace it and do a lot of things related in accountability.
Okay, accountability. Okay, that's good. So that is one of the main difference. The vision that people that have had experience in the US. Okay, that's very interesting, because I think you are in a perfect position to compare, right? You have like the best of the two worlds. There's a small line between Mexicali and the US, yeah, and the border. Okay, so that's good to know, because sometimes I receive a lot of questions like, what should I study? Why should I study in the US?
Engineer.
So, okay.
Semiconductor industry, engineers, we all the world need it.
Yeah. So that's good. And something that you said is that if you study engineering, for what I understand that you said, don't get only engineering knowledge, because an engineer that knows also how to manage, how to write reports, how to have these special kind of management skills is also good, and it's great value. Right, Karen?
Yes, we need people that have soft and hard skills. It's the best.
So it's not enough if you study engineering. You need also to develop other kind of soft and hard skills: communication, teamwork, problem solving. I think all of those are great. And if you didn't study engineer, that's okay as well, right? Because, for example, Karen and I, we didn't study engineering.
We don't study engineering, and I'm here in Skywards. We have a lot of positions that you don't need to be an engineer, but the most population that we have is engineering because of the industry we are.
Exactly. So engineering is a popular field, but if you didn't study engineer, it's okay. But just keep prepare yourself to obtain these abilities, this experience abroad, so they can give you that competitive advantages. That's as Karen is mentioning, companies look for when they are recruiting, right? Because at the end of the day, if we want to study something, no matter what field we are interested in, if we are studying something, it's because we aspire to have better job opportunities. So it's not enough just to study whatever field you want. You also need to prepare to obtain more qualifications beyond your professional field. Okay, keeping with the conversation, I would like to ask you also about your profile, or what your profile as a woman in an industry dominated by men. What have been your challenges as women in a leadership position in a field that is clearly dominated by men?
It's a big challenge in our design for men, but fortunately for me, I'm in a company that cares about the development and the empowerment of women. So my advice for all the women that are listening is that before to enter to a company or to apply to a company, look at the values that that company has. And if they have in strategic positions, women, and how many women that they have. Because if you are not in company that look for women, it's very hard to be here, really. But it's all that I have.
It's okay. And there's a big gap actually in the US in terms of the studies between, and not only in the US, also in Mexico. I think it's a worldwide issue that there are less representation of women, especially in engineering or science or technology fields. So if you are here listening this talk, if you're a woman, this is your chance to start working on and looking for opportunities to help you to improve your professional profile. Thank you, Karen, for sharing those challenges. I believe every woman, depending on the field, depending on their background, depending on their situation, will face different challenges, but we believe that sharing this kind of experiences help you out and encourage you to know or to understand that you are not alone. There are other women out there looking for opportunities. Okay, so my last question for you before moving on to some value information that we in Education USA have for you, I would like to ask you, what do you enjoy the most about your position?
The most that I enjoy about my position is have the opportunity to transfer my knowledge to other people, and the confidence that the company gave me to face the challenges and opportunities that in Skywards we have, and grow in an inclusive environment. I think that is the most important for me.
Perfect. So thank you for all of you that are sending your questions. We're gonna share them at the end. But we have talked about a lot about the importance of improving your professional profile, of acquiring soft and hard skills, or of having you experience in the US or abroad to increase your chances to have better jobs. And probably now you are wondering, okay, Mabel, but you are from Education USA. You are not a recruiter. You do a specific advising for people interested in study in the US. So probably you're wondering, then how Education USA can help me, right? How Education USA can help you, all of you, to improve or to enhance your professional profile. And for that, I'm gonna share the word. I'm gonna ask Edith to talk us a little bit about how we can help us. And Karen is going to stay with us. Thank you, Karen, a little bit more to answer the questions that you have been sending.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Mabel. Thank you, Karen. This is a very important topic, as you can see, for our audience. So thank you for giving us a different perspective about what is necessary in order to enhance or to be able to get a job in an American company. So, well, as my colleague Mabel was mentioning at the beginning, we as Education USA can help you a lot to improve or to find the way for you to improve your professional profile through education. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, we offer different services, and those services, the services that we offer, are aligned with the way that we divide the process to accomplish the goal of studying in the USA. So in order to do that, we use a 5 steps framework to advise you. And those 5 steps are here to summarize the whole application process, okay? So as you can see on the screen, the first step that we tend to do is to research your options. And this results to be the most important step. Why? Because there are more than 4,000 accredited higher education institutions in the United States. So from those numbers, from those institutions, you have to select the ones that are the best for you, okay? So we have a very diverse palette of options that can go from community colleges to universities and colleges. And it is very important that you research deeply to find the institution and the program that will be the most suitable for you. So what can we do to help you? Well, we provide you with the tools, with the best tools that we know, that will help you to filter your research in a more accurate way. So in that way, you could filter the type of institution that you're looking for, the type of program that you want to study. And well, you can find there different ways to identify what will be the best institution for you. So in this way, we help instead of just Google the information, if you just Google it, you're gonna get a very big list with a lot of information that is gonna be very difficult for you to summarize. So we can give you the tools necessary for you to make this process a little bit more easy instead of complicated it more. Okay, well, the second step that we advise you to follow is related to financial. So the second step, as you can see, is finance your studies. And sometimes it is difficult to talk about this specific topic because we tend to believe that it is very difficult to pay for our studies in a foreign country. I've listened a lot of people that is afraid of just thinking about it because there's this big myth that tell us that it is almost impossible to pay for studies in the United States or in another country. So we are here to help you end with this myth. Okay, so we can help you to review your budget, your own budget, to check how much you could contribute to pay for those studies. And also we can help you to identify other different ways to finance what you're looking for. So we tend to believe that the only way to do that is through scholarships when there are other options. There are plenty of options that can help you to finance your studies abroad. Not only scholarships, but also work study opportunities, loans, internships, fellowships, and many other alternatives that can help you to reach this goal. So we can help you to identify which one will be the most suitable for you and which one apply to your specific case and to your specific situation. So we help you to put all of this together, and then we move to the third step, which is complete your application. Once that you already selected your institutions, once that you already know how you could be financing your studies, it is time to complete your application. This is the only way that you're gonna get an admission letter, and the application process is completely different in the United States as the one that we have in Mexico, to the one that we have in Mexico. So in order to be admitted in a higher education institution, you need to send a competitive application. And that application must include all of the requirements that your institutions, the ones that you selected, are asking for. So these can vary from institution to institution. So some of them are going to ask you for a standardized test. Some of them are going to ask you for essays, for your CV, for recommendation letters. So we are here to help you to put all of those requirements together, either through maybe, I don't know, maybe through Common App, maybe to Apply Texas, maybe to the website of the institution that you are applying to. And we help you to review that all of the requirements are complete and are competitive. Okay, so we also give you tools, give you workshops that can help you to improve in those aspects in order, as I already mentioned, to have the most competitive application that can be standing out from other applications that are being read by the committee at any institution. Okay, so once that you did that, once that you send your application and you get your admission letter, that is the moment when we're going to focus on the visa. That is the step number 4. On step number 4 is when you have to apply for your visa. So once that you get that admission letter, is the time to start to talk about what process you have to follow and what type of visa you're going to be applying to. It could be an F1 as a student. It could be a J1 if it is an exchange program. It could be an M1 if it is a technical program, the one that you're going to be doing. So we help you to prepare for the interview. Sometimes we have the opportunity to invite some consular officers from different consulates that can talk to you and can explain clearly how you should be applying for your visa and what process you should be following. So as we already mentioned, we are part of the, we are a program that is supported by the government of the United States. So that's why consular officers can help us to clarify all of the questions that you may have regarding your visas. And well, finally, the last step is to prepare for your departure. Here, we will tell you everything you need to know when you're about to start your academic program in the United States. From what documents you need to bring with you at the moment that you're traveling, to what you need to be packing, who you need to be referring to when you arrive to the university or the college that you selected. All of the information that you need, we're going to provide it in advance for you to know and to be prepared, so that once that you are already in the United States, in your institution, you know what to do and how to do it. And we're always going to be here with you and for you. So in case you need or you have any questions and you don't know what to do while you are there, you can also go back to us and you can ask us whatever you need, and we will try to find the best way to continue helping you. So those are the 5 steps that we follow in order to help you in this process to study in the United States. And well, as I already mentioned, the first step is the most important because it's going to be the basis of the whole process, okay? So you need to select from those 4,000 different institutions, you need to select which one is going to be the best for you. So there are different types of institutions. And one of the institutions, one type of institution that we don't really pay a lot of attention to, or that we in Mexico don't really know a lot about, are community colleges. And today I'm going to focus in explaining you a little bit more about these institutions. So they have some opportunities or some characteristics that you are not going to find in other type of institutions. Some of the most important ones are the affordability and flexibility they offer. The affordability, because if you compare them, if you compare a community college with 4 years institution, you're going to find out that a community college is less expensive than it will be to study in a 4-year institution. Flexibility, because they tend to have admissions all year round. So it is easier to enter, to start to study in this kind of institutions. And as a plus, most of the time, they focus in their students' professional development. So many of them have agreements with companies that allow their students to end their programs by having some professional practice in those companies. So that is something that is a plus that, that these community colleges tend to offer. And well, you may also ask, what kind of programs do community colleges offer? Well, the most common is an associate degree program. That is a 2 years academic program that in most of the cases contains or are the foundation of a bachelor degree that you will be studying at another university or college. Okay, so what does that mean? That you can start studying in a community college for 2 years, and then you can do something that is called a transfer to a 4-year institution, and you will end up another 2 years in that other institution, and you will end up having a bachelor's degree. Okay, the plus of this kind of situation is that you will have the opportunity to apply your knowledge in a company, in a place where you will start your professional development by the time that you do the transfer process to a 4-year institution. But let me tell you that an associate degree is not the only option that they have for you. Community colleges develop innovative academic programs that sometimes they are the first ones to apply these kind of academic programs, okay? Or sometimes they notice a need in the workforce area, and they start to implement academic programs related to that need, okay? So that is why they can also offer certificates, they can also offer specialized courses for in-demand jobs. What is an in-demand job? You know, that sometimes there are some times where there comes a need in the industrial area, for example, for a specific type of engineering. And that is when they notice this need is when they start to develop this kind of programs. And well, it's gonna focus on prepare people for those specific job and needs. Okay, so at the end, you will end up having developed not only academic knowledge, but also soft skills, technical skills, and well, all you need in order to get that job that is the best for you. And well, if you want to know more about these kind of programs, specialized programs that they offer or certificates that they offer, tomorrow we will have a specific session to talk about that, not about certificates, not only community colleges, but also in universities and colleges. So you will have the opportunity to clarify and to check what kind of improvement you can have by doing this kind of programs in the United States. Okay, well, now, thank you. I'm gonna move away from here and leave the floor to my colleague, Jenny Diaz.
Thank you, Edith. So another way that you will find to prepare your professional profile for these kind of jobs is with graduate programs. As you know, the US offer a variety of graduate programs. They have master's, PhD. So, but before you find what master or what PhD you want to study, it's important, we always recommend that you find your purpose. Like, what is what you want to do in life? What is the goal? What is your goal? Where do you want to work? What is your dream job, right? And then once you know your purpose and that program that is going to fulfill you, now we're going to help you to show you what are all these variety of programs that we have in the United States. And, you know, masters can be an MA, that is a Master of Arts. It can be an MBA, that is a Master of Business and Administration. It can be many, many different programs. So you have to find which one is the right one for you, right? And then if you are thinking of a PhD, same, right? Like what kind of PhD is gonna be one that is focused on research or one that is focused more in like the professional practice. So most of them are in research, but there are some that we didn't know before that are to provide you with more professional skills, right? So if you come close to education, you say we'll help you to find all of this information. And then of course, Edith was talking about the requirements for these programs, and especially for graduate programs, there are a lot of requirements that you have to achieve. For example, we're talking about these standardized tests that can be a GRE or a GMAT, depending on what program you are going to study. Of course, as you are an international student, you have to show them, the university where you're going, that you speak English. So there is like different tests that you can take, the Cambridge, the TOEFL, etc., that will help you to prove that to the institutions. And so there is a specific scores that you need to get in order to be admitted to these programs. And then everything that is like, that you have to write on it or work on it to submit, like essay, CV, portfolios for if you're going to study arts. Education USA will help you not only to give you the resources to create those documents, but also we help you to review those documents. So you get to your advisor who is closest to you. We have many advisors across the country. I am based in Mérida, but my colleagues here are in Guadalajara, Mexico City, and then San Luis Potosí. And then we have many other colleagues that will help you to provide you with feedback, not 1, 2, 3, 10 times if you need, and if you see this on time, right? As long as we have enough time to work on these documents, we'll help you with that. And then there are letters of recommendation that you would need from your professors or the person that did your field research with you. And then there are transcripts that you need to submit from your previous studies, right? If you want a master, you need your transcripts from your bachelor's, and if you want a PhD, you need your master's, you need your transcripts from your master. And so in the case that you already have a master, it's important that you prepare all of this information with time, and then the transcripts have to be translated by an official translator. So we also provide with those resources. And then there are the financial planning part is like there is a cost of applying and a cost of attendance, right? So for the cost of applying, there are fees for the universities that would ask you to pay in order to apply. The translation part has a cost. then for the transcripts, and then taking this test for English, this test, the standardized test for your knowledge, all of that has a cost. So we also, it's important that we recommend you that take this into consideration. Just to apply, there is a cost. And of course, there is another cost for studying the actual graduate program, the cost of attendance, right? Like how much is tuition, if it's a big city or a small city, the cost depends on that too. And then your living expenses, and then books, and then health insurance, etc., etc. So it's always we always recommend that you have a financial planning for this. And then on the next slide, there is just an example of some scholarships that we promote here in Education USA. We'll help you, like there are many other scholarships that you can find on our website, and we'll help you to find the right one for you, right? And this is the Fulbright Garcia Robles scholarships. Those are one that we promote pretty close, and we work pretty close with the commission, Comexus in Mexico. And so they have different scholarships for graduate studies and for professionalization. Those ones that you are seeing on the screen is because they are open right now. And the date that you see there is the deadline to apply to those. The regular call is for students who want to study a master or a PhD program, and it will help you through the admission process to the universities, and also will help you with up to $25,000 US for every year, depending if it's a master or a PhD program is the number of years that they will support you. And then there is the STEM one that also includes a course of English before you start your program. And that is for students who are in science, technology, engineering, or math. And is the level of English for this one is a little bit less than the regular one. And then those two that are for the 200th anniversary between the diplomatic relations between Mexico and the United States, we opened a couple more, or Comexus opened a couple more that are estudios de Estados Unidos and candidatos afro-mexicanos. Go ahead, go to the website that you can see on the screen and check those calls. And if you apply for any of those, you can ask to your closest advising center for help, and we'll help you apply into this. We have a lot of resources. And then finally, for the professionalization one that is open, it closes on January 9th, and is for binational business or negocios binacionales, where you go and work up to 10 months in a US company. And then at the same time that you can take 4 courses in one of the universities based where your company is. So there are more options that my colleague Yandy is gonna share with you, but please reach out to us. We're here to help you.
Great, thank you, Jenny, and thank you, Edith, for this great information. Now, before we wrap up, since we are running out of time and we want to leave, of course, time for Q&A, there are a couple of things that I want to talk to you about the English language programs. Something that you guys need to know is that the US is the top destination for international students interested in learning English or improving their English language skills. Of course, there is a lot to consider when thinking about English language learning in the US. And of course, your Education USA advisor can help and also to make sure that you find the right intensive English program for you. The English language courses in the US range from beginner level for those who have never studied the language to advanced courses for students preparing for academic study or employment in the US. Some language programs focus on English on academic purposes. Other programs, for example, serve as preparation for specific examinations or English skills for the workplace. So again, make sure you contact your closest Education USA advisor so you guys can find the right program for you. Of course, some other colleges or universities offer bridge or pathway programs that allow students to build English language proficiency while also earning academic credit towards your degree. or these programs will facilitate you direct transfer into an academic program after achieving sufficient language proficiency. So again, if you're interested in learning a little bit more about these English programs, make sure you contact your closest Education USA advising center. We can switch to the next slide. Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you about a couple of things that are unique and great advantages from once you become a student in the US. And these are opportunities that will let you work while being a student in the US. And at the same time, of course, you can enhance your professional skills while being a student. So the first thing is the CPT. CPT is a form of authorization available to F1 student visa holders. And during your program of study, your experiential learning opportunities that are necessary or are required as part of your academic program. CPT includes approved experiential learning opportunities such as co-op internships, etc. And then these activities might take place on or off campus. And of course, they can be paid or also unpaid. And of course, these opportunities can also be part-time or full-time. The most valuable kind of experiential learning opportunity is the co-op education. We can switch to the next slide. Co-op is a structured method of combining classroom-based education with practical work experience by alternating semesters of academic studies with periods of full-time work. And you can actually explore or refine potential career paths. You can also make valuable industry connections, networking, broaden your perspectives, and you can also acquire the skills and knowledge needed to succeed within your field of study. And all of these while you are learning and growing outside the classroom. So this will be an opportunity for you to dive deeper into your field of study and to develop skills, to apply theory into practice. And this is very important because it relates to life after graduation as well. So this experience develop learners who are highly competitive upon graduation. Now let's talk about the difference between co-op education and internships. First of all, as you can see on screen, it's the length. Internships are often short-term positions of 2 or 3 months, and co-ops can last between 5 to 8 months. It depends. Co-op is a full-time job that has to relate to your field of study. It means that you are going to work 40 hours a week. And also while internships include part-time entry positions that do not necessarily need to be linked into your field of studies. Also, co-op positions are mostly paid, while internships are mostly unpaid positions. If we can switch to the next slide. And lastly, let's talk about post-completion work authorization. So also for F1 students, after graduation, after you complete your undergraduate degree or your graduate degree, you may apply for post-completion optional practice training, which stands for OPT, which is a work authorization, temporary employment that is directly related to your area of study. The duration of your OPT, of your work permit, is 12 months. However, it can go up to 3 years if you have graduated from a STEM degree, from science, technology, engineering, or mathematics. But most important, as students, you need to understand that all of these that we have talked about depends on you. So remember that you must always comply, of course, with the visa regulations. You must achieve good academic records to be eligible for CPT or OPT, for both. So while you are in school, it's important, of course, to keep good relationships, do a lot of networking, be a constructive member of your classroom, and of course, participate actively in your program overall. I am sure that these opportunities that I have talked to you about, the English programs, and also the working opportunities that you have while being a student and also after graduation, are a great opportunity for you to dive deeper into your field of study, to develop other skills, and also to apply theory into practice.
Thank you very much, Jandy, Edith, and Jenny. And with that, we are moving on to questions. Hopefully all the information that we receive, you find it useful and interesting. So we have a couple of questions, and I will ask Karen if she can hear me out there, if she can come back for a little time.
Yes, here I am.
Okay, so we have a question for you from Jasmine. Jasmine asks, Skyworks, what stage of the process they are doing?
We are doing the first step of the process of the finished product. We are like in the wireless thing, the chips that are for that, you know, the products that we all know that need wireless.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for that, Karen. And then we have other questions that I believe they are more focused on study programs.
Okay.
So you are welcome to stay, Karen. Don't leave us until the end of the session. But Oscar is asking, what if I already have an engineering degree in Mexico? Is there a really big difference between a US degree in Mexico and a US degree in the US? And I don't know if Edith can help us with that.
Okay, you said Oscar was the one that asked that?
Yes.
Okay, well, Oscar, it depends, first of all, about what is your engineering about, okay? What engineering did you study? And more than a big difference, I think if you have the opportunity to study maybe a certificate or another short program in the States, it will be like a complement for your studies in here. Or you can go further and you can, if what you have is the bachelor, you can try with the masters and you will have different perspectives. That will be the difference, the perspectives that we have on the academic programs. That will be my answer.
Thank you, Edith. Also, we have another question also from Oscar. He's asking, are Mexican educational institutions recognized in the US? And the other question is, are diplomados also accepted in the US? So I'm not sure who wants to help me with that question.
Diplomados, of course, are accepted in the US, not only in the US, pretty much everywhere you go. They are part of your experience. You can add them as part of your CV and your professional experience. They probably won't count as academic credit because they're just part of your experience. So you don't need to submit any transcripts or anything that shows that you have completed that diplomado, unless that has counted towards your graduation, for example, from your bachelor's degree or your maestría or doctorado. So they are a great opportunity, of course, to gain other skills, and they are part of your experience. So I encourage you, if you have the opportunity to work on those, of course, make sure to add them in your CV because they are part of your experience. If you are contacting employees in the US or even professors or researchers from the US, make sure that you also mention those. And I don't remember what was the first part of that question.
The first part of the question was if he is studying in Mexico, if he can use those studies to be in the US.
Of course, as long as you have graduated completely from your institution here in Mexico, as long as you have been, you have your, I forgot, your degree, your diploma, as long as you have completed that, there is no need to do, you don't need to do anything else to prove that, to prove your studies. Most universities or some jobs or whatever you're doing, they might require to have a translation. So you just have to do that. But yeah, as long as you have completed and you have your cédula profesional, that's what I was looking for.
Thank you, Yendi. Also, we have another question from Imanol, and I think this also goes for you, Yendi. Is one eligible for the OPT if I finance my graduate studies through a Fulbright scholarship, either to you or Jenny? Am I still eligible for the OPT?
Yes, you are eligible. You are eligible to have an OPT or a CPT for each of you, the degree that you complete. For example, if you complete a bachelor's degree, licenciatura, you can do your CPT while you are in school. But once you have finished your undergraduate degree, you can apply to get your OPT. Say you study your master's degree, you complete your master's degree and you can have your OPT after you finish your master's degree. Say you finish your doctorate degree. Once you finish those studies, you can apply again to have another OPT. As I mentioned, there are some areas of study that OPTs might be a little bit longer. They're usually up to 12 months. STEM degrees, they can be up to 3 years. But this OPT and CPT, remember to be in contact with your higher education institution, your international services office. This is something that you need to do through them. It's not something that you can do on your own. You need the help of your international center office from your institution in the US.
Thank you, Yendi. So please take advantage of this opportunity, no matter if you are a Fulbright scholar or not. Also, we have another question. Is there any option to study criminology in the US? And I will ask Jenny about that.
Yes, of course. Reach out to your advisor and we can provide with you the platforms where you can find all the programs that are available in the US. And so I will recommend again getting to talk to your advisor and they will share these resources with you to find the program that you want in criminology or in any other subject. There are many programs in the US and many universities where you can study those programs as well.
Thank you, Jenny. And I think you already answered other question that we had about how to study English in the US. Reach out to closest Education USA Advising Center. You already have the information on the chat, the link to find your closest Education USA Advising Center. And there is one more question from Aline. She said, I have many questions. May I contact you for speaking further about these different possibilities? Yes, please reach out to us. Again, Edith just share with you our blog where you can find also many information about us, about your closest Education USA advising centers and all the programs that you can study in the US. And there are no more questions. So I just wanted to thank all of you for being here. Especially I want to thank Karen also for being here, and many, many thanks to my colleagues to share with us this great information. We all arranged this event. We all expect that we have helped you to understand a little bit better the job market out there and how we can help you enhance your professional profile through the education in the US. So thank you everyone for being here. This is all from our end, but please reach out to us individually and we will be happy to talk to you in person, in personalized sessions, sorry. So have a good one and thank you all for being here.
Can we go to the next slide before we go?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry. Big announce before you all leave.
Thank you. So tomorrow we're gonna have another event. So we keep celebrating International Education Week throughout this week. Tomorrow we have an online event. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about how to study law in the US, the different degrees that exist, make sure that you register to the link that you see on screen and join us tomorrow at 5 p.m. through Zoom. Thank you. And next slide for our contact information. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was forgetting about that. So please attend to our events and follow us on our social media. So thank you again for being here and happy International Education Week, everyone.